Donald Trump knows exactly why people like Lindsey Graham especially like to kiss his ass. And according to Maggie Haberman's new book, Confidence Man, Donald Trump told her specifically, "You know why Lindsey kisses my ass? So I'll endorse his friends." That is an exact quote from Donald Trump in Maggie Haberman's new book. He kisses my ass, so I'll go out there and endorse his friends running for office. Now, at first, when I first saw this, I kind of took that as, well, that's a pretty decent shot at Lindsey Graham. I know what you're up to, Lindsey. You're just kissing up to me so that I'll go out there and endorse your friends. But then I realized this was not actually an attack on Lindsey Graham. This was Donald Trump trying to stroke his own ego and feel better about who he is as a person. This is Donald Trump telling us that my endorsement is so great, grand, and wonderful, and so powerful in this country that I have people lining up to kiss my behind just to get that endorsement because I'm just so great and wonderful. As we all know, the truth is that Donald Trump's endorsement in many cases is actually the kiss of death. He has had much better luck, I'll give him credit for this, in this primary season. But as we approach the general election, it looks like a lot of the people that he has endorsed are headed towards humiliating defeats. And these aren't just people that he said, yes, I give you my wholehearted endorsement here. These are people that he has shown up and done rallies for. People like Dr. Oz, people like J.D. Vance, people like Blake Masters. All of those candidates right now are struggling. Some, of course, much worse than others, like Dr. Oz and Blake Masters. Effectively, at this point, I don't think they have any chance whatsoever of winning their general elections. So Donald Trump's success with endorsing people in the primaries might not turn out to be successes at all once we hit that general election in November. And of course, prior to this primary season, the vast majority of the people Donald Trump had endorsed lost their races. And studies also showed that if you got a Trump endorsement, it resulted in more money for your opponent being raised than what your increase in fundraising ended up being from the Trump endorsement. So like I said, typically the Trump endorsement is a kiss of death. So if that is why Lindsey Graham continues to suck up to Donald Trump and do his bidding, then maybe Lindsey Graham needs to rethink that strategy. You're not exactly getting a whole heck of a lot out of this when Donald Trump's endorsement makes it far more likely that your candidates are not going to win. But I do agree with Donald Trump to a degree. I do think that is part of Lindsey Graham's motive, but I think the bigger part of the motive, which I've explained in the past, is that Lindsey Graham is the remora of the Senate. You know, the remora, the little fish that hangs on to the side of the shark, going along so he can get the little scraps that the big shark leaves behind. Lindsey Graham did that with John McCain. John McCain was a super powerful, high-profile individual, so Lindsey Graham latched onto him. But then John McCain died. So Lindsey Graham needed a new shark. And he figured that Donald Trump was probably the biggest shark out there, so he latched himself onto him so he could get a little bit of his scraps. The shark provides you protection and food, so you don't have to do anything for yourself. That's what a remora does. And that's exactly what Lindsey Graham is. And I think that is possibly the best analogy for his behavior throughout his entire career in Washington politics. Warm weather is still here, and for me, that means hot, sleepless nights. I recently found a way to stay cool at night, which means I can finally sleep through the night. And since I started using Miracle brand self-cooling bed sheets, I stay comfortable all night long. And did you know that traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses, and it's just gross. Miracle brand offers a whole line of self-cleaning, eco-friendly bedding such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent 99% of bacteria and require 3 times less laundry. Using silver-infused fabrics originally developed by NASA, Miracle brand sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long. So you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with natural silver that prevent 99.9% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. The sheets use a premium 500 thread count sateen weave that's made with USA-grown Supima cotton, which is one of the highest quality cottons in the world. And it's better for your skin. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Clean sheets means less bacteria to clog your pores and fewer breakouts and other skin problems. Go to trymiracle.com/ROF to try it today. And we've got a special deal for our viewers. Be sure to use our promo code ROF at checkout to save 40% and get 3 free towels. And Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle brand. Go to trymiracle.com/ROF and use the code ROF to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/ROF.